In this video, we're going to be covering the subject of tugs. Now, tugs is a misunderstood thing. Should we play with our tug with our dog? Should we not? We hear a wide variety of things. Look, if your dog's showing tendencies towards possessive aggression at a very young age, and you're wondering, should I play tug with my dog? If you're dealing with any type of intense resource guarding behavior over any toy, whether it's a ball or even a stick or anything else the dog picks up, I highly recommend going in and talking to a professional like myself or someone else with experience in resource guarding and aggression. This is incredibly important, and this video is not the place to drive into the intense subjects and importance of how to address those subjects at this moment. That being said, for the majority of the rest of our dogs, tug can be a wonderfully healthy game, especially if started early. In our very first video of choosing toys, I talked about the importance of interactive play, structure, and boundaries. That is a game of cooperation. There is give and take. You can allow the dog to win. You shouldn't always win yourself. That's not going to make a very confident or fun game, confident dog or a fun game. So when we start with puppies, absolutely yes, I do play tug with dogs and most dogs. I absolutely have no problem with it. I totally allow my dog to win. But it's really important that I'm creating a game where, once again, my dog wants to engage me and wants to bring the tug back and play with me more. Now, there are some genetics, once again, that we might have a dog that we're concerned about whether we should be playing. If you have any questions, this is probably where you go and talk to a trainer. If the trainer says, I don't believe in playing tug whatsoever, I'm gonna say, hey, maybe talk to somebody else. I used to believe that tug was bad unless we were doing bite work. That was something that I learned. I believe it is more a myth. I believe playing tug is a wonderful thing to do with dogs. However, it does need structures and rules, not only to prevent problems, but for our safety. We're talking about a dog that's throwing their mouth at something that we are holding, all right? It's a very easy way for us to get hurt if we're not thoughtful about the way we play with our dog, all right? So when I play tug, it's important I don't just hold the toy and let the dog tug on it. You can, I don't recommend it, all right? Typically, what I like to do is actively play with the dog, okay? This is a game of give and take. So if I pull and the dog pulls back, pull and the dog pulls back, right? And it's this give and take. It's this animal that's trying to struggle out of their mouth, because that's what this really is. This is the fight portion of what we call Coppinger's prey sequence, right? And Coppinger's prey sequence, to make it really simple, is a series of behaviors that come out when dogs are either hunting and killing, okay, or practicing predatory behavior. Well, even if it's simulated predatory behavior, like tugging, chasing a ball, chasing a flirt pole. These are all can be related back to that predatory instinct. Your dog is an apex predator. It's just best if you recognize that, okay? We don't want to pretend dogs are something they aren't. They are an apex predator, they are a hunter. So, along that line, when we play tug, it is simulating the fight with the animal, okay? And when I want the dog to let go, often I'll just stop and lock the tug, and I'll wait, and the dog lets go. Then I give my marker, like beep, and the dog gets to jump back up the tug and play. Then we do this again and again. Eventually we teach the dog to wait until I say beep, and then also before they can bite, and then not to bite until I give them permission. So once I say out, we're not gonna tug anymore, okay? And there's a lot of different ways to achieve an out. That's, once again, another video for another time, but that's a basic explanation of what I do. So tug is an interactive game. It's not just me sitting on the couch letting my dog yank me around. If I do this with puppies, it's going to likely be much harder for me to teach the dog how to out on the tug or drop the tug and wait for permission to rebite And it's way easier to develop this skill when the dog is very young and before the dog overpowers us, especially if you have a power breed, a Molosser breed, which are like your Mastiffs, right? A bully breed, Malinois, German Shepherd, Rottweiler, any of these dogs with intense grips and a lot of power. I'd include a cattle dog in that. All right, in our next video, we're gonna be covering different equipment as far as choosing tugs for your dog and different considerations on the equipment you choose. This is really important for understanding how we are going to develop good tug play, how we can prevent certain problems just by our toy choices. So tune into the next video for picking tugs for your dog.